I can't believe we're standing in front of these doors right now.
Me neither. It's awesome.
Next in the tank is a tool to ensure you get a juicy bird every time.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Kirk.
And we're here from the home of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Canton, Ohio. We're here seeking $100,000 for a 10% stake in our company.
Whatever you're doing right now, stop what you're doing and give some super claps to Super Brian and Super Kirk here. Woo! Welcome. How you guys doing today?
We are doing awesome. Thanks so much, Joe, for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
You're so welcome. Thank you for taking the time to come on the show. And I know we've been connected a little bit here for not too long after you guys went on Shark Tank.
Yeah, that's right. We were on September 30th of last year, 2022, season 14, episode 2.
Yep.
So we're pretty newbies.
Yeah, just getting started.
Yeah, but I mean, so much time has passed since then. I mean, it's already what, like 6 months, or getting close to 6 months.
Unbelievable. Yes, it's been 6 months since the show aired, and things have been crazy, and it's been awesome, life changing.
Oh, that is so great to hear. So let's go back before you ever got on the Shark Tank, where you guys, I mean, obviously you guys were fans of the show based upon what you had to say right before you walked out of the tank, but care to elaborate on your Shark Tank fandom prior to finding out that you would go on Shark Tank?
Yeah, I know for me personally, I watch the show every Friday night, watch reruns on CNBC, always had thought about, dreamt about, at least for the last 7 years that I've been an inventor. Kirk and I met 7 years ago, and we became inventing partners just by chance. And ever since we started inventing products, we've thought of, wow, someday it would be great to make it on Shark Tank. And to get there has been unbelievable. What a dream come true.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a dream of all inventors. And I it's the same way for me. It's like ever since I started inventing, it's like the dream was to be on Shark Tank. That's it. It was my mom's favorite TV show. And she used to say, one of these days you should be on Shark Tank. And I'm like, yeah, right. This is a long time ago. But anyways, here we are.
So as that dream, started to inch closer and closer, did you reach out to Shark Tank? Or did you apply to be on Shark Tank, or did they reach out to you?
No, so yeah, we didn't even know that it was possible that they actually reached out to people until we've met a few entrepreneurs that's happened. But no, we actually applied online. We launched our product, the Turbo Trusser, on November 1st of 2021, and I think I applied right away. As soon as we launched it and it was live, I was like, all right, let's apply. Nothing will happen, and it was correct. Nothing happened. We had $0 in sales when I applied. So the first 2 months of our product being live, we sold over 50,000 in 2 months, in November and December. So we decided, I said, let's just apply again. What the hell? It can't hurt.
Yep. And
I went back on in early February or end of January of 22. We applied again, and I put in, I was happy. Oh, we got sales now. I put that in, and didn't hear anything for a little while. And then April of 2022, we got a call, and it was Shark Tank saying they were interested in talking to us, and they wanted to start that process of getting on Shark Tank. And we obviously couldn't believe it. And, they tell you every time you get on the call that, there's no guarantee you're going to make it to next week, because there's a lot of people. I guess about 50,000 people apply every year. So to get even a phone call is one thing, and then to narrow it down even further is another.
Yeah, it is a gauntlet for to go through the process of potentially being on Shark Tank. Now when you applied and then started to get the phone call, did I forget who said whose mom's favorite show is it? Is it Kurt?
It was my mom's favorite show.
Did you tell her, or did you hold it in?
No, she passed away. So she wasn't able. She was there for me in spirit. But my sister told me, it's like, what, if mom was here, she would have just loved this. But it's like no problem, but she would have loved it.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
No worries. Thank you. Appreciate
No,
that.
you're welcome. That's I know that I know that feeling. I remember growing up watching like I remember it was like Nickelodeon Guts and asking my great grandmother like, oh, should I be on there someday? And of course I'm like 6 or 7 years old at the time, and she's like, oh, it would be so great, blah blah blah. Like,
Right.
yeah, I had no chance. I was not as athletic as some of those kids.
Right. And to me, when she first said it, I had no chance either. But we're here, and if anybody can do it, we can do it. But it's a lot of hard work.
Yeah. Oh, it is. So let's talk about some of that hard work. How did you guys go about balancing because do you guys have full-time jobs as well?
Yeah, that's correct. So,
Yeah.
at the time, we're both balancing working full time. I'm in pharmaceutical sales. Kirk's working full time at that time, coaching inventors. And in between time, we're inventing partners. And the Turbo Trusser, I think, was our combined 6 product that we had invented. And most of them we try to pitch for licensing. We would come up with an invention, make a prototype to prove its function, and then we would make a sell sheet and try to pitch it to companies and see if we could get a licensing agreement. That's a lot easier for 2 entrepreneurs if you can get that done. But ultimately, with this product, we got some great feedback, and we said, let's just do it ourselves.
Yep.
So that's a lot of balancing act to do. I mean, do you guys have families as well? So like full-time job, you're coaching other inventors. I assume you guys got families, and at the same time, like you're balancing the gauntlet that is getting into Shark Tank.
Yeah, it was a struggle. I mean, it's definitely wears on relationships. There's no doubt about it. And since I'm divorced a couple years in, so I chose inventing over marriage. So unfortunately, I wouldn't recommend anybody do that, but the path that I took, I wasn't going to stop. So that's my short story.
I am still married and happily married, and my wife is very understanding of the journey. So thankfully, she has been there for me. And I have 2 kids. 2 boys. One is 11 and one's about to turn 21, and they're great kids. They require minimal work, which is really good. They do well in school. They don't mouth off, so I don't have to wreak some havoc. So it's nice and easy.
Oh, that is awesome. Kirk, do you have kids as well?
No, I don't.
No. Oh, okay.
Nope.
So
the Turbo Trusser is his baby.
The Turbo Trusser and my job is I'm still working full time. Right now, I'm a contractor. I was a contractor for many years. I coached inventors for 3 years when we were going through this whole process, and I went back to being a contractor because it's more flexible with having meetings and if I used to work a lot of weekends. Now I can go to trade shows on the weekends and things like that. Nights and weekends is when we usually do most of our work.
Yeah, isn't that the truth for most entrepreneurs?
Yes.
That's the thing. It's like we have to fit things in around the things that enable us to be able to do those things that we love to do. So I can appreciate the fact that you stuck with it. And yeah, while I agree, like picking inventing or anything over a wife isn't necessarily the right path.
Well, there were other things. There were other things
either
involved there, but it was mostly my inventing and working 20 hours a day. It really is. It's when you go in, you got to go in, and as any entrepreneur knows, everybody has to be on board. If you're not, if somebody isn't on board, it's really tough because it's demanding. You're spending a lot of money. You're spending a lot of time. You're away from home a lot. So it can be a real challenge. And luckily, Brian and his wife, Bree, she gets it and she understands, which is awesome.
Hey, look, I wouldn't be still married if my wife didn't understand the business, the businesses and things that I'm involved in and the family business and all. It's like she knew that from day one. So things are just the way they are. And I do my best to be available as well, to not only to her, but the kids and the business and my businesses outside of the family business. So it's it's true. And as the kids are getting older, it's very tricky with, softball, karate, swim lessons,
That work-life
piano.
balance, man. You got to find that work-life balance out. And, what we tell a lot of entrepreneurs, you got to have fun. If you're not having fun along and enjoying the journey, then you're not in the right place. I was in a deli yesterday and I ran into this guy. I never met him before. And I was talking to him and, he introduced himself and his name. I was like, wow, I know that name. And he said, I used to own a BMW dealership up in Akron, Ohio. I was like, I've heard that name. He's like, but I never worked a day in my life. Find something you love and you'll never work a day in your life. And I mean, just out of the blue, the guy tells me that. And I was like, that's what I'm trying to do.
Oh, I mean, it is so important to and everybody deserves to be happy, right? Ex-wives, ex-husbands, like everybody deserves their shot at happiness. And I think that I think it's incredible when you find yours, even if it isn't necessarily what lines up with a significant other. But I look, so going through the process of Shark Tank, how did you guys come up with your valuation for 100,000 for 10%?
That's a good question.
I'm trying to think back. I think originally we started out at we wanted, was it 100,000 or 200,000 for 20%? Mm-hmm. And that was what we started with. And then we came back. We're like, you know what? Let's drop it in half and half. And we felt that would give us more flexibility when we were in the tank. We only had $90,000 in sales when we went and filmed for the show. So we were brand new. So a lot of the valuation was on the market size, on us, on, the potential, right? And the Sharks don't like to hear that. They want the valuation to line up with sales. Well, that's why Kevin took 33 1/3% instead of 10 for 10 or 100 for 10. So, it worked out, but we had to start. We didn't want to you see a lot of people go in and they really, they're asking for 500,000 for 2% or 5%. We wanted to get a deal. We went in to make a deal. We didn't want to go in there to get publicity, to go in and just air and, not get a deal. We wanted a deal. That was the goal.
Yeah. I thought you wanted to show off your bird costumes, but I mean, I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
You don't wear that if you don't want a deal. I mean, we were all in.
That says we want a deal. We're willing to do anything it takes to get a deal.
My God, that picture.
1,000%. 1,000%. Yeah, I mean so you guys, you're all in because and it's totally understandable, right? Like you guys have invented several products prior to the Turbo Trusser and not made your life's fortunes or even
as Kevin said, they've all been dogs.
Yeah.
On the show, he said, so up to this point, everything you've invented's been a dog.
Yeah, and it was.
And he's true. We didn't make a penny on anything, so he's not wrong.
Yeah, I mean that goes along with the whole take it out behind the barn and let it go. And Elsa it. So it's incredible that you guys came up with this idea for something that I think most people probably never really think of. And to your point of, the Sharks want to see a lot of sales. In your case, I actually think it would be different. And the reason being is once I have a Turbo Trusser, do I need another one for a while?
Or ever, and
Well, you have a chicken and a turkey version, so you can buy a chicken and then you need the turkey. But no, you don't need one for a while. But we have some other products coming out that are going to go in the product line of this. But no, it's stainless steel. It's definitely sustainable, and you're not throwing the string out. You can use it over and over again, throw it in a dishwasher. But no, you only buy one chicken, one turkey, unless barbecue people love to cook 3 or 4 chickens at a time. So, there are different times you can use it multiple ones at once, but no, it's
But that's a
definitely you buy
subsection
one.
of a subsection at that point.
Yeah,
people that are going to buy it.
it's not a scrub daddy that you're going to use a few times and then after a while it deteriorates, you throw it away and you buy another scrub daddy. This is going to be a one-time purchase for the most part, unless you need multiples. But that's why we're going to just keep innovating and coming out with new products. We've got to expand on that, and there's such a big market. I mean, I think we said on the show, 87 million turkeys are consumed basically between Thanksgiving and Christmas. So we just need a fraction of those turkeys to have a turbo trusser on it. And, Kevin will be a happy man, and so will we.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And I think that to my point of, you don't want to have already come in and be like, oh yeah, we sold like $20 million, 20 million units. It's like, well, how many other people do we need? Like, how many more people are going to want that? Right.
Yeah.
Like now we're getting to like the education of why you need one, not just people that are already like, I'm a chicken connoisseur or a turkey connoisseur and are doing it like all the time. Like now we got to find, we got to go deeper, and it's kind of like getting oil out of the ground, right? Like, oh, when it's at the top, it's super easy. We just scoop in and go. And it's like when it gets to the bottom, we're like, okay, we gotta like come up with some technology to like really dive deep into the ground and fit and get it and extract it, not just like dip the ladle into the ground.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think a lot of people understand and know the value of trusting a chicken or turkey is that it's going to cook more evenly. It's going to produce a more juicy bird. It's going to be more flavorful. It's a technique that's been around for probably 100 years, and most chefs, they practice it and they use butcher's twine. But with the turbo trusser, basically what we've done is made it available that anybody can do it without watching videos and any kind of special training. You can trust your chicken or turkey too, and it's simple and easy to use.
Oh, I love it. And I think I think the other thing I thought was incredible is the 87 million turkeys in 2 months. That's I can't even fathom that many. Like, imagine the noise that many turkeys all in one place would make.
Imagine everything that goes along with 87 million turkeys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the feed and like, oh my god, yeah, that's the poop.
But that's and that's just the U.S. I think Canada, Canadians have their own Thanksgiving as well, and the research we've done is that it's around 12 or 13 million turkeys consumed there. Mm-hmm. So the market just in the North American continent, U.S. and Canada, is 100 million turkeys. We just need to get on a few of them.
And that's just turkey. And our chicken, our chickens and turkeys, our chicken version and turkey version are selling basically neck and neck. No pun intended.
Love it. So I think it doesn't necessarily make sense. Like, and I think that's for a lot of products that go into the tank. It's like you don't want everyone to have already bought one because they're probably not going to buy another one. It's not what's the word? A consumable.
Consumable, yeah.
Consumable or disposable, yeah.
Yeah. So I think it makes sense to get it on the upswing like that. Now we'll get into Kevin O'Leary and all that later, a little later. But so you guys, how did you? What did you do to prepare for the show?
Oh, I mean, it was. The show itself, they require a lot. So there's a lot of information every week. They're asking for financial information, background check information. Everybody involved in the business we're turning in information every week, having conference calls with our producers, usually once a week, once you were in the cycle.
Yeah, helping with your pitch and, working with your pitch, working with the numbers and all that. Yeah, so.
Yeah, honing everything down. I mean, we were practicing our pitch in our sleep almost to a point where you've almost said it too many times and you're like, oh my God, I just got to stop. And you're just constantly going through the motions, trying to make it muscle memory almost, so that, you go out there and you give that pitch and then you don't know what's going to happen next. So, I mean, but the preparation was intense. A lot of work goes in before you ever even get a chance to fly out to the studio and film.
As it should, because you guys don't get a second chance. They don't be like, "Hey, do it again." Like, say that again, or like say it with more volume, say it with more meaning. Make me feel that like you just got the I don't know what's like the fork, like the fork India,
Yep, I know what you mean.
Yeah, the cooking fork. I don't know when you barbecue.
Yep.
Like that's the thing is you have to have all that preparation because they're not going to sit there all day and get your pitch right. They got like I don't know from eight to nine other pitches to do that day.
Yeah, they're
exactly.
Booked.
Yep.
They're booked.
Yeah. So okay, so you guys are standing there in your bird costumes. How are you feeling in that moment?
Like sick to our stomachs.
Yeah, it's like we can't believe we're here. I mean, we've had 7 inventions, and now we're in Shark Tank, walking into the tank. We were just thinking it's unbelievable. It's like we can't believe we made it this far. I mean, just for a couple of normal guys. I mean, we're not anything special. We just come up with some ideas and brainstorm, and you just keep working at it. But I couldn't believe it myself. I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah, we invent our products in my garage, and over a couple beers, and maybe over an open Big Green Egg, or Weber kettle. That's what we're doing. I mean, that's our research. And then for us to end up sitting there where you see us right on the screen, I think at one point we looked at each other and we said, "I can't believe we're right here," or something of that nature.
Yeah.
I mean, it was something to that. I think it was, let me see if I can hit play here. Yeah, I can't believe we're standing in front of these doors right now.
Yeah. It was like
me neither. This is awesome.
7 years of work.
I mean,
then the flapping of the wings. I mean, oh my God.
Watching
that is just something else.
It is. I mean, only on Shark Tank, right?
Yeah.
Hey, what we'll do for money, I guess.
And we wanted to be memorable. We're like, hey, we're coming this far. We want people to remember who we are and remember our product. And that is like us. Like, we wear chicken and turkey hats all the time. We'll wear our costumes when need be, but we want it to be memorable. And because like Shark Tank is TV is one part and business is the second part.
And it's not often you have an opportunity to actually dress like your product.
Right.
You really, I mean, we have chicken and turkey turbo trussers. I mean, it's just perfect. So it really worked out. And I think it played a big role in helping to get us to that point of getting on the show. And, obviously we knew our numbers and, we did all the legwork, but man, the costumes didn't hurt.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about the fact that it's all it is for TV, and you think about and you guys obviously you watch the CNBC reruns and things like that helps make a memorable. I'm sorry, that helps make a memorable episode to get the rewind the reruns.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we got lucky on December 30th. They played a rerun on a Friday night at 8:00, and they don't give us any advance notice. And I'm sure you know this. Even when you go out and you tape for the show, you leave there, deal or no deal. They tell you there's no guarantee you're even going to air. So you fly out of Los Angeles, you go home, and you're like, okay, I guess we'll wait around to find out what happens next. And just like on December 30th, somebody texted me and said, your episode's on again on Friday night. And sure enough, I went home and I was able to get it before ours came on. And what a great thing. I mean, you still get the Shark Tank effect every time it re-airs.
Mm-hmm.
That is, yeah. I mean, I can attest to that because I see the numbers when people are Googling and and going to YouTube for the pitch, just to see, and there absolutely is an effect even when it's not a new episode of airing on a Friday night. I would say even when it airs, because they've aired episodes reruns on ABC like on Sunday, like Sunday evenings and stuff too, random Saturdays and stuff, and even then, like if I have my pitches, my pitches there, it's getting bumped, it's getting a nice little bump, which is great to see. It's great to see that people are watching it even when it's not. Hey, it's 8:00 on a Friday night. Like this is the episode. This is the new episode. You got to be there.
Yeah, we're happy to have any rerun. It's just exposure. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, going into tonight, did you have a shark or sharks that you had pinned in your mind as sharks you wanted to try to get a deal with?
Yeah, Kevin number 1, Lori number 2.
Oh, really? Lori was number 2. I'm surprised. I would think that Lori would be number 1 on that.
Yeah, she does have a big QVC presence, but with Chef Wonderful, I mean, how and his personality, and it just seemed like he just seemed like the right guy for us, the right partner, the shark, But it's Chef Wonderful, our products for cooking. She's the QVC queen, which can also do you well, but he's also on QVC, so there was we got lucky.
Kevin finds a way to be on anything that's playing TV wise.
And that's great for us. We love that. We love him, his celebrity status. We enjoy that because now we're partners with him. And every time I see him on TV, good or bad, like sometimes he's mixed up in like some other things. But most of the time it's solid business advice, all this. We like to see him because he's a celebrity and he's been a great partner so far.
Well, that is great to hear. So with that said, your deal has closed with him?
Yeah, our deal actually closed the morning of the show airing. So September 30th, the show aired last year. We signed the papers at 9 a.m. Our check got wired to us at 11 o'clock a.m. I think Kevin called us at like 4 or 5 o'clock p.m. to see if we were ready for the show, and we had a big watch party, and we closed that sucker. Yeah.
Oh, that is ding ding. That is awesome.
Best thing we've ever done in our lives, for sure. As far as inventing wise, man.
Yeah, and smart on his part to not wait till after, because it's just going to make the value go up higher once it's out there. Like with that level of people seeing it, you're pretty much like, again, it's not something it's not a consumable. So like once they buy it, like,
well, and he gets $1 royalty per unit. So he knows better than anybody that the day of the airing and the day after, you better grab those royalties if you want them. Yeah. And I don't blame him. We were happy to give it to him.
Yeah, as I imagine you would be. So going through the negotiation process with Kevin, did you guys kept pushing back, and he just was not didn't seem like he was gonna budge.
And there were some things that we talked on the show that they didn't even air. Like we pushed back even more. They only went through part of the pushbacks, but we tried everything, and he didn't budge on any of it.
And I don't even know if they aired this, but at one point, Lori, she looked over at Kevin. She goes, "I thought you were going to have a heart this season." Yeah. And he goes, "This is too much work. Nope, not going to do it." So, we tried. We did some negotiating, that's for sure.
Well, we're young. I mean, you go on there with $50,000 in sales or 90 or whatever the heck we had. It's not a lot. I mean, it's just like you go into the show and you don't have a lot of sales. You're new. We were 9 months in business. Yep. What are you gonna do? I mean, you're gonna
take the deal.
In the bank. Yeah, we're gonna take the deal because we didn't have a lot of money in the bank, and we didn't have a lot of orders. So, I mean, you go on the national TV and we can team up with Kevin O'Leary. It's a dream come true, even with the $1 royalty.
Yeah, I mean do you guys feel the squeeze now? Or are you getting any kind of distribution that's causing a problem for you?
No, at this point,
I shouldn't say a problem. It's a challenge.
No, at this point, mainly right now, we've been focused on online sales, and so that's easy for us. But this year, you know, we're going to try to make a push into retail. We're going to start slow. We're not going to try to, you know, conquer the world, the Walmarts of the world. But we're going to maybe try some regional chains of grocery stores. And we've got a really awesome floor display that's got Kevin O'Leary's whole half his body on there. Chef Wonderful holding the turbo trusser. I mean, it's
Yeah, you can see it on LinkedIn. Brian posted it today on LinkedIn.
yeah. If you go on, yesterday or today, yesterday I posted it on LinkedIn, and it's got his whole body on there. It's Chef Wonderful, and we're gonna try to make a push and get his face and our product out into the retail market where people can, you know, pick it up, feel it, look at it, and really understand what it's going to do for them. It's going to, you know, enhance their Thanksgiving experience. They're going to get a better turkey. And you see it?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I see.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's awesome.
That's all. That is great.
Because that was on set. That picture was taken on set on Shark Tank. And you know, he allowed us to use his likeness on it, obviously, because we're partners, but we just think it's great. I mean, it's like he's recognizable and he likes it and we like it. It works.
Yeah. You can't beat that. Awesome. That's guerrilla marketing right there. You put, I mean, you know, like him or not, you're going to know who that is. Yeah. You put us on there in our turkey costumes and maybe a few people are going to get it, but Chef Wonderful knows.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's interesting that photo was taken on the Shark Tank set. I guess, yeah, because he put the code on, right? And then
it's actually what he had us send him samples, and when he was filming, in between filming other days, he put his actual Chef Wonderful outfit on and cooked and did some outtakes and videos and things like that for us. So he went to work right away, even before we signed the deal, just like that. That was taken right after the tank. He got not that one. That was on the tank, but yeah.
Right.
During his filming, he had us send more samples. He cooked a chicken, a turkey on the set and did some filming for us and sent us all the videos that we could use in different social media stuff.
Wow. Now, did you have to wait to use that until the show was, or to your deal was done?
It was a little bit.
I think we did wait. I think we did wait, but once, as soon as we were, the deal was closed,
I think you should wait, like, because you don't want to be like,
we actually
things go south, and then it's like, well,
no, I'm sorry, we had to wait until since we closed the deal on the day the show aired, we couldn't talk about the show at all, basically, until what? A week or so before,
3 weeks out.
3 weeks out, and you couldn't say whether you got a deal or not. So we didn't share any of those things until afterwards, because you're right, that would have shown that we got a deal with Kevin O'Leary, and we definitely didn't do that. So they filmed that stuff for us, sent it to us, and we used it. We've been using it and still have stuff that I haven't put out yet that he's sent us. So it's been awesome.
That is awesome. So you guys end up giving up 33.5% for $100,000. Obviously, you guys don't regret it. It seems like you guys are having a great experience with it. And $1 royalty on top of that. I guess I'm just curious. Like, was there like a number that you really had in mind at the time? Obviously you had a lot of back and forth, but was there where you're like, ideally we wouldn't give up, because you said before it was 200,000 for 20%. You cut that in half. So like, was 20% your
25% is probably, I think Kirk and I talked about it. We didn't think that we would ever have to go over 25%.
And we weren't expecting the royalty to pop. Well, we were expecting it.
You went in looking for Mr. Wonderful. Come on.
Yeah. We expected him to come in with the royalty, but we really thought, maybe 25%, but in the end, you could see we went back and forth with each other, looking at each other. We went there to make a deal. We needed a shark, and we didn't want to walk out of there without it. So it was, make or break. We had to do it,
and it was well worth it. I mean, we have no regrets at all. I mean, our lives have changed so far. Like,
we're not millionaires or anything like that.
Yeah, we're still working. We're still working our day jobs.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
A long time.
We work all the time for Turbo Trusser, and we're just getting started. We're not retired or anything like that. But it is definitely life changing. Just the people we've met, the other Shark Tank entrepreneurs that we've come in contact with now. I mean, we're now partnering up with the United Inventors Association, and that group is partnered with Shark Tank, and just giving back to the inventor community. It's been a blessing and just unbelievable experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because now we can help more inventors, like through the United Inventors Association. We've teamed up with those guys, and it's a great organization, and it's free and to join. And there's a lot of free resources, and we want to give back because it's so hard to start out like we are, but like we did. But anyways, yeah, it's been really great to meet other people of like mindedness, because when you're an entrepreneur, especially an inventor, you always think you're kind of crazy to start. You're just like, does anybody think like this? And then all of a sudden you go out there and you meet thousands of other people who are just like you are. So
they're just scattered all over the place.
Yeah, if we can do it, anybody can do it.
No, absolutely. I think, if I'm in your shoes, both of your shoes, I'm thinking, to me, like, well, I know obviously you guys have said that you're working on other products, but like, you guys have a direction now. If nothing else, you have a successful product, right? That's most successful of the products. So you have like the compass, like, how do I feed that monster, right? How do I get more from that name? How do I get more from serving that community in which we've created around the Turbo Trusser?
Yep.
Yeah, and really that's comes with, to me as a salesperson, and that's what I've done for the last 20 years. It comes with the product line extensions, and that could be in many shapes or forms. But, we've got a big market of chicken and turkey. There's a lot of things we can do with that. So, whether that's coming out with an innovative rub that's awesome for poultry, or, another device that, makes it even, another way to cook it. Who knows? But, I think with that brand recognition now, Turbo Trusser, we have to capitalize on that and build that brand out until it stops. That's a once in a lifetime opportunity, right? To be on Shark Tank with anything. Yeah. So Turbo Trusser, we've got to build that brand out in all different shapes, forms.
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. To me, that's just probably that would be like the biggest relief of all the, we've done all these things. We're scattershotting in all these different areas, and then bam, we hit the one thing. And I think that's a key piece to any entrepreneur that's like trying to do like any kind of business off the ground. Like, so many, there's always quote unquote so many failures, but there's no failures, just lessons. And like, think about all the things that you guys have been able to create that helped you get to this point. And then all the people that, in your case, Kirk, that you've been able to mentor that has helped you get to where, to this product and this platform that you can now help more people, as well as have a business to like hang your hat on.
Yeah, exactly. Well said. Because when I was mentoring other inventors, and I still do, I learn just as much off of them as they learn off of me, because I hear new things, the techniques, it's a two-way street. I mean, some people might be a little bit more advanced than you are at the time, like with any business. But I learn just as much off of the people that I'm mentoring than above me. It's crazy. It's like a big full circle.
Every journey is different, right? Yeah. So our journey is going to be different than, the next Shark Tank journey. So, we've got unique experiences that can benefit people. We're in a different position than some companies. We're early. So like we've recently in the last couple of years have formed LLCs. Some of these people have been an LLC for so long, they probably forget how to do that. And, companies, young entrepreneurs come to us and we can guide them in some of the basic things. And eventually we'll be the guys that have forgotten how to do the LLC, and we'll be coaching people on the higher level things. But, one thing we'll just never forget is to continue to give back and help people to do that.
I mean, anytime I've worked, coached or consulted with any business owner, I always say, like, it's my intention to be learning as well, because I don't know your industry. I've been around lots of different businesses over the years, but not every industry, not all the nooks and crannies of that. So if I'm not learning, then I'm not growing, and if I'm not growing, then I'm dying. So I think it's so important that we always be wearing the black and the white belt at the same time, because you just don't know what things that you just don't know. Like, especially when we're coaching and things, it's like. I mean, somebody came
learned
to you
in the
guys.
last 6 months has been unbelievable. We have a board of directors that, we work with this organization in Cleveland called the Business Advisors of Cleveland. It's a free service that it's retired men and women of industry that want to give back, and they mentor companies that are new. And we had used them in the past on another product, and right after we got on Shark Tank, we got the deal after the show aired. We called our mentor there and said, you know what? Can you set us up another team? We'd like some mentorship. Even though we've got Kevin, we've got his team. More is more, right? So sometimes more is less, but in this scenario, more is more, because these guys, now we meet with them once every month or two. And these guys have been through even all the stuff, and they run different types of industries, and they're, pushing us to get our balance sheets and our P&Ls and all those things that if you've never done that before, you don't have a clue. So, we highly suggest take advantage if you're a young entrepreneur. Find the scores of your city, look for resources that are free, because there's a lot out there. There's a lot out there. You just have to look for it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, getting that's one of the things I love about doing this show and shows that I've done prior is just getting to learn from other people in other industries, and what else. When I first started my podcast, I had a few friends on because it was all about dreams and like living your dreams and that kind of thing. And I remember a good friend of mine who's a photographer was like, "Well, I was listening to like the second episode, and it's a DJ actually from Ohio. I think he's in Akron.
That's like 20 minutes away.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Akron. And he's like." He's talking about the ups and downs of DJing and the industry and the business and all that. And she's like, I don't know anything about DJing, but everything that he was saying I absolutely related to in photography, like all the same ups and downs and things of that nature. And I think that's just why it's like you look at things from a different perspective, and you take all that in versus just trying to like, how do I get like the one or two examples and like really hone in on those? Like, I'm always looking outside, right? Always looking for different influences, different stories, different things that can enable me to like learn and say, oh, I never thought about it like that. Like I knew about it. It didn't click for me in my mind. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about Shark Tank that brings so many different people together with different businesses, different backgrounds, different everything.
Yeah, everybody's different.
Yeah.
It's the networking that's unbelievable. Network. It's more important than almost anything.
Yeah. Well, your network is your net worth, and I don't know if I fully believe in all that, but I think there's a good chunk to it. Hell yeah,
it helps. It's not 100%, but it helps.
But knowing people that have been there and done it before, and walked in your steps ahead of you, that have made those mistakes, if you can tap into that, I mean, it's invaluable.
Absolutely. So you guys leave Shark Tank with a deal. You head back to Ohio. What's some of the first things you guys did to prepare for maybe getting to be aired on Shark Tank?
Yes. So, I mean, we come back. We obviously, looked at our inventory. We waited a little bit to be contacted by Kevin's team, which it took a little bit of time, maybe 3 or 4 weeks. So you sat there for 3 or 4 weeks in total silence, not knowing anything. You got the deal. You're waiting for them to call to say what's the next step. And then once that process got started, we were comfortable that everything we talked about on the show was real. We didn't exaggerate any of our numbers. So we felt confident that the due diligence would happen. And with our business, 90,000 in sales, Kevin's team probably could do due diligence in a couple hours if they really wanted to. And so, what we did was we prepared and made sure we had enough inventory and, got ready and just waited. We got around and waited. And then, it wasn't long because we filmed. So we filmed on the first day of filming in July. So that was July 16th.
Yeah.
And we aired on September 30th. So we were the first taped episode to air in season 14. If you watch season 14, they had the first ever live episode that was
controversial live episode.
Yeah, I'm not sure they'll do that again.
Yeah, but the thing is,
I want them to.
Like in the tank, people didn't like it, but that's what it's really like. The people shouting and arguing and fighting with each other and asking a million questions at once. The people at home, they don't get that, but that's really what it's like in there, except for the live audience, of course.
Yeah, I even did a whole live chat, like talking about it after the fact, like 2 days after the fact. Because looking on Facebook, man, the comments were harsh on that.
They got crushed.
They did. Look, haters are always going to be the loudest. But with that said, like I think to me, the live audience wasn't the problem. The problem was they let the live audience talk and interact. And I think having you're walking out like, yeah, woo, everything's cool, and then everybody just needs to just watch.
Let the entrepreneurs do their thing. Let the shark talk, and you sit back and watch.
Well, yeah, just like a regular show. Like you watch you watch any of these stand-up shows or late night shows. They're not talking. They're just sitting there applauding when they say applaud, and
even The Price is Right. The audience isn't getting involved in.
They yell. Yeah, that's a Price is Right. That's what it was. That's what it turned into, in my opinion.
It almost turned into that. You're right. It turned into a people shouting in. But I meant to say Family Feud. Or most Wheel of Fortune. People aren't yelling in, going, you need to get a C. No, that's not how it works. But hey, they gave it a shot, and we were lucky. We were the second episode, so it was pre-taped. We didn't have the live. We followed that, and hopefully everybody was ready for a pre-taped episode when we launched.
Well, I got to interview. It was the first episode that I've gotten to interview every entrepreneur that was on that episode, and it was a much different experience on their end. They, for the most part, loved it, but watching back, they're like, yeah, I could see where people might not have liked it as much, but yeah, the sharks yelling over each other wasn't. It is what it is. That's how it is.
It's really what it's like. Luckily for TV, they cut that enough to where it looks like people are asking questions in an orderly fashion.
Right.
Yeah. I think if they just silenced the audience outside of like cheering at the end or the beginning, I think it would go a long way in fixing. It's not a game show. And I think that's where it went down that road. But so you guys were saying you did have a watch party?
Yes. Yeah. Yep, we had an awesome watch party. We have another silent investor that came on at the very beginning, and they kind of gave us a seed money to start this business, and they hosted a party for us at their place, and it was awesome. We had probably, I don't know, maybe 100 people there,
150
yeah, and we had a couple TVs set up, big screen. We had a local news reporter had came to watch with us and take notes so he could write a story about it the next day. It was
cool.
It was really unbelievable to spend that time with our friends that most of them didn't know what the outcome was going to be until they saw the episode. My wife was there, all that work getting to finally some reap the rewards a little bit of all the crazy inventing days. So, it was awesome to have that. And our partner definitely, he put on a fabulous party for us.
Well, that is ding. That's awesome that you guys have a partner that was so, wanting to be a part of that. And not like, especially because you gave up 33 and a third %.
Yeah, and we all took the hit.
We all got diluted.
We all got diluted, but he's not a guy that wants his name out there or anything. He just wants to help us. And he had a party at he's got a very nice place that we had a party at. I mean, just
a great partner,
very gracious, very great partner, and then bringing in Kevin O'Leary. I mean. Yeah. We're just blessed at this point. We've got to take advantage of the time. It's not a given. Even though we have all of this happening, nothing is just going to fall in your lap. Even now, it's still a lot of hard work. It's even more work, actually. A lot more work now that we've been on Shark Tank, which is good.
Yeah, that's one of the things I think a lot of people discount when it comes to whether or not they should have an investor at all. Because of the amount of work that you have to put in. Because now it's not just your sweat equity and maybe your money; it's somebody else's money, and and the promise that it's going to turn into something.
We don't want to let anybody down.
Right.
Yes, is it a risk to them? Absolutely, but our mindset is never to let anybody down that's helped us out. So, I mean, we're going to work tirelessly to get the word out about our product and make sure that we do everything to capitalize on this opportunity that we've had.
Exactly, and if anybody out there is like actually wants to get investor money, I mean, you're going to do everything you can, 100%, 110% that you can, but you always have to let them know. It's like, listen, this isn't a guarantee, like anything, like buying stocks or bonds. But, when you're taking, when you're not borrowing, getting an investment off for a friend or a family member, you have to tell them up front, this is risky. It's risky. I'm doing my best, but you might lose your money. And that's the way you got to go in and talk to people, because that way, if somebody loses, you're not saying, oh, listen, you're going to make 10 times your money back. You can't guarantee that, so going in honestly, they might say no after that, but at least you're not on the hook. So you're promising somebody 10 times their money in 6 months and they don't get anything back. So just a little tidbit.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if you guys know, but I started my own tank, the Super Tank, where I'm investing in entrepreneurs here from the channel, and each month I take a portion of the ad revenue and add it to the investment fund.
No, I don't think I knew, Joe. Cool. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. That's
good. I mean, it's not in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. We're at $10,260 right now. But each month goes up. What did you say? You have
$60 in there right now?
Oh no, $10,260.
Nice. That's something that can help somebody.
Hell yeah,
absolutely. Amazing. I think that it's a way for me to give back to the super community, to help spur on, an entrepreneur that watches all these Shark Tank videos, that watches my channel, that watches these interviews, and thinks, Joe knows what he's talking about. So like, hey, if I, so it's in a way, and it's a way for me to flex my entrepreneur muscles in other industries that like I wouldn't have time to like go and found an invention or a service into myself. So yeah, each month it's just going to go up. I do like 2 to 5% of the ad revenue that we generate here on the channel, and so the stakes just keep getting raised each month.
That's super cool, man. That's a great. Congratulations. I mean, that is very honorable.
Well, thank you. If you guys know anybody that is looking for an investor, feel free to send them to supertank.tv.
You got it.
They can shoot their video.
Yep.
Supertank.tv.
Cool.
It's like it's less than 5-minute video. There's like bullet pointed questions to answer. Then I react to the video, give my feedback, and then if I want to take that next step, boom, we go, and then we'll do a live stream like what we're doing right now, but we're not live streaming, we're just recording, and then go from there. Well, we might do a recording. It depends on how secretive the product still has to be, and that's been a little tricky.
Yeah, they have IP or whatnot.
People get sketchy about sharing their inventions before, or even after they have a patent. People are afraid.
Yeah, because they have to defend it, right? And that costs money. So it's very difficult. So, but even I've done some private ones where they've sent me their video privately. I didn't create, a content for it. I mean, because I was kind of hoping to create like a monetization loop. Like they send me content, I create content, it generates ad revenue, I put ad revenue back into the continue to fill the fund, like and rely on less, a little less, not a ton less, on copyrighted ABC, Shark Tank, Sony Entertainment Pictures stuff for the channel. Because that is constantly a challenge. In fact, right before I got on the call with you, I got 2 videos that I got to go and re-edit to get and re-upload to get them back up on the channel, which really sucks. But
because of ABC.
Yeah, because of ABC. But they pick and choose. I mean, we're 54 minutes into it, and if you want to hide some secret information, the best place to do it is 54 minutes into a podcast.
No, we signed like a rock solid NDA. We can speak a little bit about our experience, but it's pretty, we're just skimming it.
Yeah, and to me, these interviews are really about you guys and your experience and your business, not what was like Kevin O'Leary really like, and like that's not because even some people have asked like, oh, well, when are you going to get a shark to come on your show? I'm like, whenever they decide to reach out and make it happen, like.
That would be amazing, though, right? That's the ultimate interview.
It would, but at the same time, like I'm not a Shark Tank fan site. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm doing Shark Tank to help entrepreneurs through education, not necessarily
on the fandom of Shark Tank.
Yeah, like I'm not like waving the shark flag. Like, yeah, go get him, Kevin. Go get him, Mark. Man, Mark's the man. Like. They all have their own flaws, and they're people too. And I've said that before. I did a video about Kevin after the whole FTX thing. Like, we gotta talk. Like, he's human too. He makes mistakes. Yep. Does it damage his reputation? Yeah, but like long term, probably not. I mean, if ABC and Sony weren't the Shark Tank enterprise were already like, yo, you're out. Like, then they probably aren't going to.
Yeah, luckily, I mean, people have short memories, and there's a lot going on.
Like you said, everybody makes mistakes, man. That's just all there is to it.
Yeah. So I and there's still some things that I like. If I was to do an interview with him, I probably would question, like, when he said, "Oh, I would totally invest in Sam, SBF's business again," and it's like, okay. Like, you want to explain that one a little more than you did in the original interview where you said that? Because
I'm not in the crypto, so
luckily that's way above our pay grade.
Yeah, we're stamping birds out and selling. So that's what we stick to.
That's some blue collar stuff right there.
That's right, man. We stamping birds and selling them to people that like to eat good poultry. That's what we're gonna stick to that.
Ding ding. Absolutely, right. But yeah, so this is not a Shark Tank fandom site or channel or platform or anything like that. It's really business education. Like, let's take the lessons that are being learned here and apply them to your business or your business aspirations, your invention, your whatever you want to create. And so it would be awesome, but like I'm not like losing sleep over like how do I get them on the show? I got to get them on the show. It's not valid if I don't get them on the show. Like, I'm making money either way, man. I'm making money either way.
Yeah, you're good either way.
You just your thing is just keep interviewing entrepreneurs. That's what you're all about.
Yeah. Absolutely. So speaking of that, how did you guys come across the video?
Your video?
My video.
Yeah, YouTube. Sorry. Yeah, YouTube video. I think we just were searching and came across it and watched it.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure.
And then I've seen you on social media, and I'm not sure where in different channels, but I know we're connected. And then I think I reached out, and we love to tell our story.
Yeah. I forget which. Because on Facebook, I'm connected with a lot of the Shark Tank entrepreneurs at this point. So it was like, I was like, we still got to get you on, because I think you wrote a comment like not long after it went live.
We wanted to get on and stuff got crazy, and then finally, luckily, we made time to get on, and we're
it's a good thing.
Having us.
It's a good thing that it got crazy. It should get crazy, because if it doesn't crazy, then it's like, okay, maybe. Yeah, like you invested a lot of time. I always say time, energy, and money. The 3 strings we got, right, that you can pull on.
It.
And you're investing a lot of all 3 of those, and you got to make sure make sure that it's worth. So I'm glad that that worked out, and I really do appreciate you guys taking the time to come on the show today.
Yeah, we appreciate it, and we'd love to come back maybe in a year or so, and give you an update of where our journey's taking us from here, and how we're helping entrepreneurs out even further, and just to catch up with you, and
sure.
keep telling the story of entrepreneurs, Shark Tank, and how other people can do it too.
Absolutely. So what's the future of I mean, I know you guys kind of hinted at it earlier, but what's the future of Turbo Trusser looking like?
Yeah, we've got a few new products that we're hoping to launch this year, and we'll keep those secret for now.
Yeah. I don't blame you. It's all
but they're definitely going to be game changers in the poultry industry, and then who knows what's going to happen beyond that.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah, we're just going day by day, just doing what we can do. That's it. Trying to move forward, trying to baby steps. It's just baby steps every day. One of these days, hopefully, we'll be able to be on a beach somewhere. But right now, that's a long way away.
So where can everybody go get their own Turbo Trusser?
You can get them at turbotrusser.com and also on Amazon. So if you've got Amazon Prime, we're on Prime. You can pick it up, get it delivered next day or day two. And either way, you can pick up an authentic Turbo Trusser.
Oh, I love it. Speaking of which, since you brought up the word authentic, have you had any trouble with people knocking it off yet?
Yeah, we had about 178 different companies knock us off right after Shark Tank.
178?
Yeah.
150 listings, I believe, in different platforms.
And about 150,000 in lost sales of what our team's been able to calculate. So, yeah, it had an impact, but you know what? I guess that it goes with the territory. If you're going to be successful, you're going to have to fight the knockoffs, and we've done that. So just make sure, though, you're always buying an authentic product that's from Turbo Trusser. So whether that's on our website or on Amazon, you can see the seller. Make sure you're buying the authentic made in the USA Turbo Trusser.
And have you guys been able to secure your patent yet?
It's pending.
It's pending. Our trademark is secure, our copyright and our packaging secure, but the utility patent on the actual product itself is still pending. But it should be. It's not published yet, so it should be published probably in the next 5 months, I would believe. But right now, with Amazon having a trademark or copyright's way more important than having a patent.
Yeah. So they can't just use your name and sell their knockoff. Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time to be here today. It's absolute pleasure having you on, and I definitely would love to have you on in a year or so, catch up with whatever products you got going on and see what's up.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Thanks so much, Joe. We really appreciate it.
Oh, you're so welcome. And thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. I appreciate you being a part of the super community. If you haven't watched their pitch, click on up here. If not, I'll see you in the video down below. Take care. Go be super.